was a dark and stormy night, nor'easter rolling in. It's a long 12 hours, the power's out again. I pray for inner strength and that we don't lose no lives. Just another day in the first responders' eyes. Half a cup of coffee's gone, the first run comes in. A car slid off the road, there's a family trapped within. My heart beats like a hammer, I can barely catch my breath. I'm thinking the worst and hoping for the best. Yeah, we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. It's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone. Now my shift is finally over, I gotta deal with what's mine and try to find a way to leave those tragedies behind. So I hug my 2 children, I kiss on my wife. Just another day in a first responder's life. Yeah, we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. It's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone. Flashing lights fill the air, broken bodies everywhere. Another bad dream is stealing my sleep. 'Cause we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. And it's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this hurting when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone, it keeps going on. When those sirens are gone.
Hey, welcome to the award-winning Mad Radio Show here on Happy Hump Day Wednesday. We are celebrating so much this week between our first responders and National Police Week and Memorial Day coming up and Mental Health Awareness Month. There's a lot of stuff going on. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Hi, doing great today. You know, it's we do have a lot going on. We've had a lot going on since last week. I just want to start by saying huge shout out to Axon. For those of you who don't know what Axon is, it's every first responder that you see out there with the body cams, with the dash cams. Chances are their equipment was provided by a company called Axon, and Axon is putting first responders' families first. Being that it's Mental Health Awareness Month, like you said, John, they have released an educational documentary series. So you can go on to Axon, and it's axon.com. And it was out of the blue. I was just completely honored by them contacting me. I went down to Austin. We did the filming, met some fantastic people. Blue Help, our good friends at Blue Help are involved in the project as well. And we're looking to, again, smash that stigma, because we need to have folks, our first responders, family members of, and the community understand that, you know, it's okay not to be okay. We just don't want you to stay there. And that there are resources and tools out there to assist. And you just gotta take that first step. You gotta be really courageous and reach out when you need the help. I know it sounds easier to say that because you and I have been there. It's like, been there, done that. Yes, it's the hardest thing in the world. We got to some pretty dark places, but once the help was there, we were able to, I like to say, you know, come out the other side. So that's the project. And you know, what, John, what you've been doing, our partner, Jeff Freeman, every day, you know, 2 officers last night. I don't know about you. I today just hit me this morning. When I look on Facebook and it's just like 2 more. Every day it's another one. Today just hit me. I'm watching our opening. It's just it just is completely, I don't know, feeling a little bit helpless, but knowing that we have so much hope, that we're doing so much good in the world, and that we just have to keep doing it.
You know, you're 100% right, man. I had Karen Solomon from Blue Help on the 99 just an hour ago, and I had a long talk with her. We discussed the stigma, and, you know, the 4 officers this weekend that have been, you know, one was ambushed in California in Stockton. We had the 2 here in Texas going to a complaint for a dog bite, for a barking dog, you know. And the narrative in the nation now is, you know, we want to change. We want civilians to do this job. Here, 2 highly trained officers went to a dog barking complaint and ended up being murdered, along with a civilian being wounded, on what you would think is just a simple, you know, noise complaint. And
Right.
you know, our politicians out there now, who have not been backing our law enforcement, who have not been, you know, supporting them in any way, are allowing these criminals to run free and have zero accountability, which is making the life of a law enforcement officer 1,000 times harder to do his job. And you look at New York, where de Blasio has just washed his hands of the NYPD, has not done nothing for them. But you know what? There was a shooting in Times Square this weekend, and those officers all responded with professionalism. They didn't care if they were white, black, Chinese. They didn't care what the color of the victims were. They went there and they helped. They ran into the gunfire. They ended up saving a baby. And you know what? It's because they have heart and they have soul. You know what? Our politicians should learn from that. They should learn that our law enforcement are under extreme circumstances, and they are just adding to the wrong narrative throughout our nation. And we're going to constantly have our officers being hurt and assaulted and killed because our politicians have no balls. They will not stand up for our law enforcement. Sorry to say, but that's the truth.
No, it is absolutely the truth, and that's another reason why you know, we've got a huge event coming up here over Memorial Day weekend. Carry the Load.
Yeah.
It's 3 nationwide relays. One starts on the West Coast, one starts on the East Coast out of West Point, and one comes right down the middle of our country. It all culminates right here in Dallas at Reverchon Park. And this is the 10th year, 10 years of doing amazing things, of giving back to our law enforcement community, our military, our veterans, and our first responders. And like I said, we have so many organizations, so many businesses, so many good people saying this madness, they're drawing a line in the sand and say this madness, we're going to be there to back these guys up.
Yep.
We're going to be there to support the families. We're going to be there to provide quality products made in the USA. And we're going to, do you want to transition into that right now? Because we're it's like one of our favorite products in the whole wide world besides.
I want to bring something up real quick and just on what you're saying. And it's a conversation I had earlier today about, supporting our veterans, supporting our law enforcement. People and our politicians see things on paper. They don't see things as real. And last week, we had an amazing person on, a veteran, Jonathan Hill, on our show. And it was an honor to meet with him and speak with him, And then I watched the movie The Outpost. And I was devastated because, you know what? I watched that documentary and I said, it's a document. I looked at it as a documentary. Right. I looked at it as a documentary or a film. I looked at it and the people weren't real, because it's on TV and it's $1 million actors playing these friggin' roles, And then I got to speak to Jonathan and my heart bled for him, and I said, you know what? This is real life. This is what our military guys go through. This is what our veterans have gone through. These are the people who served our country faithfully. And how the hell did we let it go this far where we are not backing them? We are not supporting them. We all got to get caffeinated is what we got to do.
That's how we keep going. There's the segue. We all got to keep going. And when I was active, it was easily a two pot a day habit. John, I know you were the same, probably even more. Sometimes it was 3 pots, just saying, when that 12-hour went into a 24-hour. But you know what? It is the folks that we're bringing on here. They serve. They actively serve. They serve coffee. They make coffee. They make some pretty darn good coffee. But I'm just going to introduce you to everybody because we got a packed show tonight. And as I'm reading their bios, I'm going to bring them on. We have got, I'm just going to bring everybody into the stream here. We have got OneNation Coffee in the house. Hey guys.
Hey.
How's everybody?
Thanks for having us on.
We are doing great. I got to put your banner up here because I love it. Okay. The motto, we've got your 6 a.m. I am jumping right in. Neil Johnson was born and raised in Massachusetts to parents who met in Augusta, Georgia, while his father served time in the Army as a junior military officer. He spent his youth visiting family often in South Carolina. From a young age, his parents taught him discipline, hard work, entrepreneurship, and prepared him for life. Starting in the 6th grade, he always had a job, from delivering newspapers, working at a liquor store, mowing lawns, performing maintenance at an outdoor concert amphitheater, and working as a baking master at a New England clam bake facility. Neil was active in the Navy for 6 years as a naval nuclear reactor operator assigned to the USS Miami. He served over 500 days underwater. After the Navy, he studied mechanical engineering at Clemson and made his way into the corporate world. He excelled in the areas of manufacturing, supply chain management, and procurement. While serving in multiple operational and commercial roles at GE Energy, he traveled the globe supporting GE's global supply chain strategy. Following GE, Neil came to Texas, came to Houston, worked for BP in Houston, and soon found himself in the middle of supporting the Deepwater Horizon incident. You guys, another incredible film made about that. After the incident, he wanted lots of change, and he headed to Iraq to support the BP in Iraq and their businesses. Neil led a diverse 25-person team of Western expats, Chinese, and Iraqi supply chain procurement professionals for over 7 years. He helped Iraq with the field expansion and production of the 3rd largest oil field in the world. He left BP in 2018 to follow his true passion of full-time trading and investing. As a longtime serial investor, Neil is now translating his corporate career skills and experience into running his own investment company. He's excited about potential investments in startups with like-minded people that have a genuine passion for what they do. And Neil, I would say your passion.
Shortened bio. That was from last year, but anyway. But thanks.
Okay, well, you're supporting your. You have a genuine passion for coffee, supporting your co-founders and partners in OneNation, Phil and John. Again, this is in no particular order. John Richards is an active duty senior chief petty officer in the U.S. Navy and serves as an explosive ordnance disposal tech. In simple terms, he's part of the Navy's bomb squad and blows things up for a living. More importantly, he's a husband to his beautiful wife, Michelle, and father of 3 wonderful children, Cody, Kylie, and Cassidy. His faith, family, and friends are the 3 most important things in his life, and he is fiercely loyal and passionate about the things he believes in. And we got Phil as well. Phil was born and raised in Charleston, South Carolina. His parents were restaurant owners, and he started working at age of 5, learning about business, creating and serving a high-quality product, and the value of great customer service. His father taught him that if you help enough other people get what they want, you will get what you want. He's always had a service mentality. He attended the U.S. Marine Corps Officer Candidate School, where an injury ended that career before it really began. Following that, he returned home and continued working in his parents' restaurant until he graduated from the College of Charleston. Following that, he began working as a reserve deputy sheriff as a volunteer, and 4 years later was hired as a full-time sworn deputy sheriff. While his love for law enforcement was growing, another love was growing as he met his wife, who also serves as an active duty law enforcement officer. Later, he became a member of SWAT team, where he worked his way up to the breaching element leader. He also became a hazardous device bomb tech. The guy in the big, heavy, fat suit that goes down and makes bombs go away. Throughout his law enforcement career, he has worked the streets on patrol, been a canine handler, narcotics investigator, and has been attached to a federal agency. He's still active and loves serving his community. Guys, welcome. That was a mouthful, but we wanted to let everybody know that, that when we talk about coffee, we want people to know that there's people behind the coffee, and your passion for what you do for a living, for what you did, it comes together in a culmination of you guys supporting each other in a fantastic coffee company. Again, it's right there on the screen, everybody. I'm going to leave it up there because you can just log on anytime. I mean, we want you to stay for the whole show, but open another screen and order the coffee while we're talking. Okay.
Yes.
So it is an honor to have you guys. Your roasting company is in South Carolina, yes, and Charleston, right?
Yes, correct.
And you have been featured on the news there. You guys are out in the community each week. And it says a lot because there's so many businesses now. I'll say there's so many businesses that first responder and veteran led that are coffee or T-shirts or something. The coffee is a big thing. And when you do the research, it's like, okay, I see the passion. I see it. They talk about the background, and what it comes down to is frankly taste and meaning. And what I mean by that is I have myself. I love your coffee. The 9/11 tribute, 9/12 tribute blend is what got me on your website. I must have been talking about coffee, John, to my phone, and next thing I know, and talking about September 11th because 9/12 tribute blend came up, and I was like, what is this? 9/12 tribute? Is there something event going on that is 9/12, not 9/11? I click on, it's coffee. Okay, so let me do some homework because we drink good coffee in this house, and the more I looked, I was like, I'm looking at the packaging, and this is what I mean by meaning, that the passion goes into the coffee because it's outstanding. And the meaning is delivered because on the coffee bags, the 912 blend, I wish I had mine still. It's got a picture of a first responder on it. It's got bright, vivid colors. It tells a story. Okay. And so when you drink it, it's like I'm drinking the story behind what this is about. And I don't know, that's really cool. And they have this on all their bags. It's not just a bag of coffee, because let's face it, you can get a foil bag, slap a sticker on it, says this is the company, and ship it out to the customers. No, not these guys. And I want to thank you. You know, John and I are both 9/11 first responders. I want to thank you for taking the time to design something as meaningful as that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We give our buddy Jeremy Kennedy. He does a lot of our design work for us, and he helped us design it. But the whole point behind the bag, you know, obviously 9/12 is for September 12th, the day after 9/11, where all Americans came together to become one nation. And what more do we need that message to be sounded out throughout America today, is to be reminded that we are Americans, that we do have our differences, but we still can come together and make something great, you know, and that's hence the tribute bag, hence what we did. Phil was talking about it a little bit earlier, you know, and he can definitely go into more specifics of it, but it is a post roast where we take two of our roasts and we blend it together to make something even better. And you know, and that's our message. Yes, we have our opinions and our beliefs and everything, but our name, One Nation, you know, that's what we really want to stand behind, and we want to be able to bring people together. There's enough hate and divide in this nation going on right now, and so we want to be able to reach across the aisle and start conversations, you know, and say, hey, at least we can agree on good coffee, right? We need to agree on something, you know, and start that, you know, and that's what we, you know, as veterans, as first responders, people that you read our bios, you know that we have jumped in, we have fought against the darkness for our whole careers and done a lot of stuff. So we want to be able to do that now, like as we set aside our body armor, our guns and stuff like that, from as we transition, hopefully here in the next year or two, you know, from active duty and law enforcement, we want to be able to serve coffee, bridge the gap, and be able to start a conversation and you know, create from that healing that needs to happen in this nation to restore us to what we truly are as a great country.
You know, you bring up such a great point, because One Nation is a perfect name, and I could see that when we all start coming together, you know, coffee is going to bring us together, and it's going to be your coffee that's going to bring this nation together, One Nation. And I love the symbolic meaning behind this whole thing. What really gets me is, you know, when you talk about blending the coffees, all right, you guys are three individuals from different backgrounds. How did three people with such a passion come together and make such a great coffee?
So yeah, actually, John and I have been friends since the third grade, and we met in our third grade class. Turned out he lived down the street from me, and we became instant best friends. So fast forward that through our childhood years, and then I guess we were about 15. John actually moved out to California, so we lost contact from each other for just over 15 years.
Wow.
Whenever we ended up reconnecting, and this is all pre-Facebook, MySpace, all those things that we had or have now, rather.
MySpace.
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I can see you with a MySpace account and a little glitter thing going there, right?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm old anyway. So we ended up a little over 15 years later, made contact with each other, and by that time I was in police work, and John was in the Navy, and we had not met Neil yet at this point, and so through Facebook, I had been searching for John, and I guess it was like maybe the next morning after I had been searching, I ended up getting a message from him saying, "Hey, I'm looking for my friend Phil. I don't know if this is him, yada, yada, yada." I'm like, "Oh my God, John, it's me. Call me." So he calls me, and that night we talk, and I'm like, "Well, what do you do?" And he goes, "Well, I'm in the Navy." I said, "Oh, cool. What do you do in the Navy?" He goes, "Well, I'm EOD." And I'm like, "Shut up. Like, I'm on the bomb squad. How's that possible?" In the same fields too. We haven't had no contact for 15 years.
When we were kids, we used to play G.I. Joe and look for shark's teeth. And, we grew up in Charleston, Somerville area, and there's, we're always out in the woods and we're playing war and everything like that. And we, like you said, we kind of went our separate ways. Then we came back and reconnected, and it's just awesome. He was doing similar things we were. And then, a little bit later, we just kind of started, we were just always trying to figure out something. What can we do when we have to grow up and retire from the law enforcement and military? And then we just, that also, Phil, that it was one of his ideas. You want to talk a little bit about that, Phil?
Yeah. So kind of what bore this whole thing together was drinking really bad coffee in gas stations at 3 o'clock in the morning, which I'm sure most of us here can contribute, right? And so deployments or gas stations, whatever it is. And so for me, it was, there's got to be something better. And, I wasn't a big fan of some of the main chain coffee shops. So I ended up learning how to roast on a little popcorn machine. And a little bit later, a couple of us were having a group text, kind of, I don't want to call it, joking around, but we essentially, when we came up with the idea for it, we were just kind of goofing off. And one of the people in the conversation said, "Well, why don't we start a coffee shop?" And I'm like, "Well, you're out of your mind." I'd grown up in Chick-fil-A, so I knew about like actually running like a restaurant type stuff. And I was like, we all live in different parts of the country. We will be, we can't do it because that's like a 4 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. We all have day jobs, right? So that wasn't going to work. So why don't we roast coffee? I started learning how to do it. So we did. So we started in my garage, roasting on a little popcorn machine, and we looked everything up, figured out, okay, this is a viable business. We can actually do this without, breaking the banks. So so we started it, and probably, I guess it was maybe a month or two later, we ended up making contact with a local roaster here in Charleston called Coastal Coffee Roasters. And from there, they pretty much just invited us in, taught me everything I could ever need to know, and then some, about roasting on the big equipment, the big machines, because the science is totally different. And so once we started that, it just started taking off, and here we are today. And now, we met Neil and brought him on, and it's been a little over a year now, right?
Yeah,
over.
Yeah, so ever since then, it's been kind of like a shoestring budget. And
Phil's background check.
Yeah. That's, we always joke about that, but I, for obvious reasons, and Big John, I know you can attribute this, being a detective. You assume everybody is bad until you prove you're not bad, instead of vice versa. How it should be, right?
What was awesome about bringing Neil? We met him through the foundation that we're partnering with Knife Ducks. Where we've been given $1 of every pound of coffee that we sold. And so the founder and president, Pat Elswick, he met Neil. They've been doing. Neil also has another foundation called Veteran One, and so, he was highly interested in being a part of a coffee company. He has a passion for coffee, and so we got introduced, and it just made sense. Like, we have the tenacity, we have the street smarts. Neil had the business mind, the higher echelon to kind of help focus us in the direction that we needed to go to keep driving us forward and getting us a little bit more organized, because we have the hustle, and we've been working with all of our day jobs and everything like that. But Neil came in as an equal partner and just been really helped, refine us into what we kind of are. We're kind of like that diamond in the rough, and he came in and pushed us up, and and we've just been growing and just being.
And actually, if I can back it up a little bit, John, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but kind of backing up to the initial conversation when I said we were kind of goofing off. The main thing when we decided to start this business it wasn't, hey, how can we get rich and whatever. It was, what can we do where we can make enough money that we can give back to people in our community. And it kind of started out mostly on the EOD side and bomb tech side, because John and I both had really good friends who've had injuries, brain injuries. Some of them lost their lives, things like that. So that was kind of, what can we do where we can one day make enough money where we can really, really help our community. And since the start, it has grown exponentially rather. And so now we veterans, first responders, kind of the whole. So it's not just bomb techs anymore. We've branched it out, and that's where Pat Ellswick and the When Life Sucks Foundation comes in big time. Which was about a year and a half later when we actually met Pat, because initially we were vetting different organizations
like
every month to
months.
get back to, and it was exhausting because we found so many of these organizations were not actually giving the money where it was supposed to go. They were keeping it all and giving just little bits back to the veterans or the first responders or whoever needed it. And so that was very irritating. And when we met Pat, it was a breath of fresh air. He's the complete opposite. He gives literally almost everything he has to give back to the veterans, and keeps just enough to operate. And so he's an amazing human being, and doing a lot of good work. So that made it easy for us to partner with him, and so we don't have to quite do so much vetting every month. And a lot of
the one thing I love is that you all came together. And, I'm a big proponent of this. People meet for a reason. People get in contact, paths cross for a reason. I'm a big proponent of that. But how I see you guys are going to blow up soon is because the Ford Corporation started in their garage. Microsoft started in their garage. Apple started in their garage. OneNation started in their garage. You guys are already up there, man.
Yeah.
You are gonna make way for the new coffee. I'm telling you right now. You're on. You are on that trajectory.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But like for myself, just coming in, like we said, about a year and a couple of months, where I met this guy, Patrick, that Phil and John have been talking about. He's an incredible man. And I had been going to Central and South America for fishing, vacation, just different things as far as potential business opportunities, or I don't know, buying real estate, whatever. I had no real idea. And then I don't know, I had it in my head. When I was working in Iraq, and I was working there for a month at a time, and then I'd have a month off, so I'd have time off. I wanted to buy a coffee farm in Costa Rica. So I wanted to have a non-financial investment or business. And I'm like, I wrapped my head around this. So I worked on that for a while, and then I parked it. And then all of a sudden I met Patrick, and then he goes, you got to meet John and Phil. You have to meet John and Phil. And literally, as soon as I met these guys, that process started. And John and I were having late night conversations, and we were John was like courting, and Michelle, his wife, was getting a little jealous late at night. That's some of the jokes we're having. And then John and Phil said, hey man, we can definitely work out some type of deal or arrangement where I could help come in and do some of the things that John had mentioned before. And then we've really been on a little, even during COVID. COVID, we did really well last year, online, of course. And then this year it's taken off, and things are happening. But the most, obviously, meeting John and Phil was for this, and just in general in my life, was a godsend, because we just married up very, very quickly. And we're each one of us, we bring something different to the table. So it's not like two or three of us bring the same experience or desire or passion in this business. Each one of us brings a little something different to the table, which makes it great. And I can't emphasize enough. That's clearly one of the main reasons. But this giving back, I've been looking. I do a lot of charity work. I do a lot of giving, but I haven't been doing a lot of giving of my time per se, because I've just been kind of busy working and traveling and everything else. But this giving back, we now give back $1 for every roasted pound of coffee that we sell. Nobody does that. That's literally, when you do the math on that, it's really, when you say that to we had a couple of calls today, John, we in that
exactly.
Potential partners, they were like, what? And we do this. And then we've been doing it to the one organization that Phil and John were talking about. But we've since,
Sorry, my dogs are barking.
right?
They agree with the $1 every pound. I mean, how can you not get excited about that?
But since we realized we have a bit of a tiger by its tail, we think, and then so we set up our own foundation. It's called OneNation Foundation. So it'll be we got our 501c3 package already into the IRS, and we know we'll be approved, here probably in a month or two, and then that's going to be our give back foundation, and then from there we'll have partner up with other organizations to give back to veterans, military, and first responders. And we're excited and pumped about all of that, because now that we have our own foundation that we kind of have, line of sight to, we can kind of direct it to the folks in the groups that actually give a good chunk of that money back. Hence what Bob was talking about when they were vetting other organizations early days. And it's hard out there. There's some nonprofits that are, unfortunately, they're not doing what they say.
They're a little shady.
It's more than you think, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, for sure. We're in the 501c3 process ourselves, and so it's a big time waiting game right now. And so let's talk a little bit about When Life Sucks, WLS. That's what. So when people go on the website, OneNationCoffee.com, again, it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. You will see how One Nation Coffee does give back. They have all the statements, $1 for every pound. But I went in and I do my research for the show, and I was like, When Life Sucks. Wow, this is kind of in your face. So let me go on to this website and see what this is about.
Yeah.
And again, talk about an organization that really dives deep and takes very seriously the health and wellness of our veterans and first responders. You spoke a little bit how, Neil, you had the relationship with the founder there, and it just was it there. I'll call it plain speak, like that. That's what it is. It's like they did the way that everything's laid. It's like, hey, we're not going to baby you. If you need to get slapped, we're going to slap you, but we're not going to let you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that what drew you guys into, like, this is a no-brainer, we're partnering with these guys?
Well, so John and Phil had already partnered with Patrick and WLS previously. And then I met Patrick and WLS separately, because he's that kind of person. He just draws you in and you're like, I have to work with you. I have to do something with you. So when I met Patrick separately from John and Phil, Patrick said, "You trying to buy a coffee farm in Costa Rica?" I said, "Well, not anymore. I'm not sure we're doing what I'm going to do." He said, "You have to meet John and Phil." And then I was down in Charleston like a week later, and probably within a few more weeks, we knew we were going to do something. And then within a month, we were legally organized together. So but it's Patrick. But Patrick was the centerpiece.
But Sam, to answer your question, and it kind of goes along with John, what you stated earlier, it's like the right people meet for a reason, and we've seen this theme with everything that Phil and I've been doing initially, and then we met Pat over accidentally kind of thing. He invited us up, and we and then all of a sudden it was just kind of like, hey, we need to partner with these guys, because like Phil was already saying, we had been looking at other foundations, and then when we saw their operation and what they're doing in our minds, if we ever had a foundation, this is what we would want, because they truly do. It's like from suicide prevention, suicide awareness, to like getting people off the dangerous medications, and engage to life to deal with like hunting, fishing, all kinds of activities that's proven to successfully combat PTS, and so, and then Pat does all this stuff, and anytime you get him on the phone, he's at some veteran's house replacing an air conditioning or a refrigerator, or doing like every time. It's not like
we're talking him off a bridge, quite literally.
Every time you're doing something, you call him, he's out there doing it, and he like knows everyone in upstate South Carolina, and it just, like he said, it builds that credibility. That's who we are. That's who like Neil was. So like, and then now like like the people that other foundations, because what we realize is there's not one end all be all foundation. So like we look at it as layers of armor, like little chinks, not chinks, but little metal pieces, you're covering, overlapping to cover down on everyone's need. And like the group of people that we're meeting from all these different foundations, is really covering down to help people's needs, from, like you said, Veteran One that's standing up, to Win Life Ducks, to, Steel Future Foundation, to the PGA Hope, that they're all concerned with helping veterans and first responders that have issues, from learning how to play golf to deal with it, to finding jobs and resources. All these things are out there, and it's not one group, it's everyone. And as we rise and increase, as we do the right thing and encourage other groups to do the right thing, and we're able to call people out that aren't doing the right thing. So it's amazing. It's an amazing thing that we are building here in South Carolina. And it's just not us, it's all the groups that we're associated with. And so we're so blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah. Now let me ask something. You're in South Carolina. You're mostly a web base, correct?
Yes, we're primarily retail. We're really growing into retail and wholesale. And we, yes, our main thing is online, where you can do subscriptions and everything like that. But we're growing. We're
any shelves in the store? Any shelves yet in the store? Or
yes, we were joking about it because we did our ribbon cutting last week, and the news reported it. They did a walkthrough. We showed them that we were a roaster. We showed them that we're a fulfillment center. But yeah, they reported that we were a coffee shop. And then so now, all these people have been coming to our shop. We've now set up like a couple of retail stands out in our front office where people can come in, buy bags. We give them a tour. We show them the process. Everyone loves it, and so we're adapting and overcoming.
We're in a decent amount of small businesses, in South Carolina and just right outside of Carolina, and that's literally, when I say that's growing every week, it's definitely growing every week. And so we're working on some larger, higher level contracts. We're beginning to work with some distributors, things like car dealerships and just the whole gamut. So we're looking to get the OneNation Coffee product out to all of the businesses and the companies and small businesses that support, veterans and first responders and everything else. And that process, it's a large undertaking for a small company, but it's really starting to take off in the last few months. But last year with COVID, obviously that was a challenge for every one of us. And we focused, obviously had to mostly on, and we set up our operations, and we've got that down very well. And so now we're looking forward to kind of more of, any and all higher level contracts and clients and customers that definitely want to have, serve and or drink great coffee. So we're looking forward to it.
It's kind of interesting.
Let's get into that right now. Let's we talked about like the really important stuff, the nuts and bolts about business, about the awesome things that you guys do, the foundations. But people are like, we've got a comment stream going here. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and put your questions in. I talked about my favorite being the 912 Tribute Blend. You guys have the K cups favorites. Yeah. Let's go around. Phil, your favorite.
So my favorite is the JB's, which is it's a pre-roast blend with an Arabica and Robusta. And my second favorite is that 912 that you've been talking about, which is post-roast blend. So JB's that's my go-to every day.
And what does JB's stand for?
So it's JB's Buckshot Blend, and JB was one of the guys who was with us when we founded this thing. When I talked about that whole group text, it's actually John's cousin.
It's my cousin.
JB. He's redneck. And from Kansas, and he, as we were kind of going through trying to come up with different roast names or whatever, we we originally were going to try to like kind of plug our names into a different roast or whatever, and he happened to be the first one, but it just worked out perfect because the JB's buckshot, him being like John said, a redneck hunter, good old boy.
Yeah, he's a redneck hunter, and he's awesome. Obviously, he's one of my cousins. He's like a brother to me, and he came up with the name before the roast, and he's just like, I don't care what we do, but we're going to name one JB's Buckshot Blend. And so we're like, okay. And so that forced us to create a blend, and it's by far our best seller, And so we give credit to my cousin. His name's John Boggs, and so JB is what he goes by, and that's where that comes from. So,
all right, what's yours, John?
I go between JB's and Moab, mother of all blends. Why I really like why that's a big deal for me is before we even had the company, I never even drank dark roast, because to me dark roast was always super bitter, and I never really enjoyed it. I always shied away from it. I was always like medium roast or something like that. But once we came up and developed it, it was so really smooth, and it was delicious. I just really fell in love with the dark roast, and then like you said, and then the JBs, I just kind of go between the two, But yeah, I love my wife. My wife also loves the dark roast, and so that's what we have in our coffee pot, and we rotate between JBs and Moab.
Nice. And Neil?
I'm going to definitely Moab is the number one, but a little bit of JB, of course. And when I was in the Navy, we would always have this term, or anybody in the military, what have you. I mean, I've been out for a while, but hot, black, and bitter was always the term. I think I started when I was 18 at cream and sugar, having a little bit of coffee in high school, but then in a month I was on coffee, and of course the coffee was no good. But hot, black, and bitter was always the term. But I was like, I like black coffee, but I'm not really sure about this whole bitterness thing. And then I obviously moved on in trying different black coffee. But as soon as I met these guys, and we're in one, there's a company in South Carolina called Palmetto State Armory. It's gun manufacturer, and they make guns and everything else. They're great partner of ours. And their coffee is there. I immediately went to PSA and I bought a bag of each. And then I started trying it and checking it out. I'm like, wow, this coffee is really, really good. And then I definitely kept all that conversation going with these guys. But Moab is definitely number one.
I didn't know they had coffee. I get my ammo from there. I guess I must have missed that, but yeah.
Well, our stand is right in front of Black Rifle's coffee, so you can't miss it. If you're looking at Rifle coffee, we strategically move our stand around to make sure you can't spare it.
What I like about you guys is, some coffee companies, they'll buy ground coffee, or they'll buy beans and they'll ground somebody else's blend, and like Sam said, they'll put their own sticker on it and sell it as their brand.
Yeah.
You guys blend your own coffee, and I like how you mix the blends together. I was talking to a guy who rolls cigars, and I like having a good cigar every now and then, and how he blends it and he uses different leaves. With you guys blending your different coffees and coming up with these different blends, almost like wine tasting. How much coffee tasting do you guys do? And do you go, oh, that's not good? Will it, through that out and say, oh, this one comes out good. So what makes that decision?
I'll jump in on this one. It's kind of my forte there. So I do all the roasting, and I finally got a guy that I'm teaching how to roast now to help me out some. But so yeah, we from the very beginning we absolutely were like, we were going to roast our own coffee. We're not going to be one of those people like you talked about. Yes. I'd heard about that stuff too. So the first, the Taste Like Freedom kind of came easy. I mean, it's a medium roast. It's a high quality bean. It's just a straight medium, and it's a good cup of coffee. Yeah. So then I started playing around with Robusta beans because they're extremely caffeinated, and by themselves, they're not all that great by themselves. You don't really want to take a whole roast of Robusta and drink that. It's kind of like gas station coffee, right? Yeah. And so they're very caffeinated. So and there's also some texture differences, which I don't want to nerd out too much on anybody. But so we did a little bit of a blend and tasted it, and we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, what did we just do? Like what? Like, we didn't even think about like the ratios or documenting it. We just kind of we re-engineered it and figured out, and then we basically using that same type formula. We did a lot of testing when we came up with our Moab. And then when we started moving into like our light roast and our decaf, so it took me over a year to develop our light roast, which is a Tanzanian single origin bean. And then our decaf took me over a year and a half to develop because everything I tasted tasted like plastic and it was awful. And we used to joke, we're like, oh, we're not going to do decaf. What's the point? And then John and I would do events and people would come up and be like, well, I have a heart condition or my wife's pregnant or whatever. We're like,
a couple of restaurants that we were serving to, they also needed it, and so we don't get a lot of sales, but no, it is important.
But we need it. And we need it. So we decided trying to start developing that. If most people have had decaf, it's usually pretty gross. So it took me a while to find the right bean and get it roasted correctly. Because again, every time I drink it, it was like drinking a cup of plastic. And I was like, we're not selling this. I'm not going to do it. So finally, I found a bean. It's a Brazilian Swiss water, which is a naturally decaffeinated bean. And if you drink it, you can't tell the difference. You don't realize you're drinking a decaf. It tastes amazing. So
your decaf process, does it go through water?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we're like nerding out here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not chemically decaffeinated, basically.
Right. I just wanted people to know that. So if you didn't know, if you're like waking up with Folgers in your cup, please stop. Okay, get some real good coffee. That is, if you need to have the decaf, that's decaffeinated the right way without chemicals, and because let me say that coffee, when it comes to chemicals, are some of the most chemical laden products on the market. And so, when a lot of the companies, I'll say, that are much less expensive, that are in grocery stores all over the place, those really cheap coffees, you're actually putting those chemicals into you. So people tell me all the time, you spend what on coffee? Oh my God, you're a coffee snob. I was like, you know what? It's what makes me happy. It's how I start my day. And why do you want to start your day with shit in a cup? Sorry.
I
mean, give yourself a smile. Bring happiness to the world.
Sam, do you want to come do events with us? Because
I would love to come do events with you. I would absolutely love it.
Good,
Sam's tagline: "Stop putting shit in your cup." OneNation Coffee. There you go. It is the contrast of your coffee. So I went with the 912, and then I went with the Reveille. It's a pea berry, right?
Yes.
The coffee bean looks very different. It's the size of a pea, and it has a much different flavor to it. Not when you say light roast, it's not that it is a weaker. People think light roast. What do I want light roast for?
Yeah.
The light roast, does your the pea berry have more caffeine?
So basically, essentially, kind of what you're alluding to is that so the darker you roast the coffee, the less caffeine it actually has because those oils are getting extracted through the process, which is kind of why we started putting that Robusta bean in there because we wanted to get that caffeine back into it. So the light roast is going to, I guess, in a sense, it's not going to have as much oil extraction, so this caffeine is going to stay in there a little bit more. I couldn't begin to tell you what the levels of caffeine are in there, but yeah, you're probably going to get a little bit more caffeine out of that lighter roast just on the natural basis of it not cooking as long and it's not evaporating as quickly.
Yeah.
So.
It's a very unique, super smooth coffee. So if you guys have never heard of pea berry or
you get a whole bean. It's very aesthetically pleasing too. It's kind of cool to look at. It's very.
What I tell people like that, like light roast and just like the flavors that's in it. It's almost like a craft beer. Like when you brew it and it's super hot and it comes down, kind of cools down to room temp. You really get those flavors, those notes, those extra notes. It's like kind of. I don't want to say fruity, but I guess that's one of those, note like. But it has its unique profile, and you definitely hit different flavor profiles as it kind of cools down from super hot to like just like that in between hot and
different acidity levels
yeah.
and things
And
like that.
It's not acidic, so a lot of people that have acidic problems that can't, we introduce them to that coffee and they can drink it, and it's, that, like you said, that's, when we get messages, people say they love our coffee, it just really just humbles us that people think that about what we're making and what we're doing, and so that is the other half of what we're doing. We do want to produce a good cup of coffee, and have the mission that we do of like making a difference, and I don't know, that's what really drives us, it's good that we're growing and being successful, but honestly, we're not, it's not, we're not driving for the dollar. That's not what wakes us up. As one, we want to make good coffee, make people happy. Like you said, join, like what we're passionate about is because we have been through the fire. I've been through combat. I've had teammates die. Philip has too, and so like we want to be able to say, hey, we as a company, OneNation, we want to stand with you in your day, from law enforcement to, like if you're a boardroom, like if you're an office person, or even a stay-at-home mom that has to get kids off to school, we want to like help you get through that day, through that good cup of coffee, like you said, that extra caffeine, that good taste, that consistency, that's reliable and faithful. Neil and I were meeting with a high-end company today, and they were talking about, well, what's the points on your beans, and I was just like, I don't know, it just tastes so good, and that's the people that we are serving to and want to. They say our coffee's really good, and that's what we're happy with. And our other half of the thing is that we do have a passion to give back. Of every pound of coffee that we sell, we're donating $1. And like that's what drives us. That's what attracted That's what attracted the groups of people. And so we're serious about that, because all of us can stand here and say that by the grace of God, we're still alive today, and it's for a purpose. Like we want to help those that can't help themselves, and serve those that have served. And so. I don't know. Obviously, you can tell I'm very passionate about it, but that's
and you know what? And that's
Yeah,
what's great.
great
And that's what
messaging.
the good part about the coffee is that the passion that you have, because we've all woken up in the morning and had a shitty cup of coffee and said it ruins our day. It's going to ruin our day.
Yeah.
But if
kicking
we
the
wake
dog,
up,
and
right, all 5 of them. But if we wake up and we smell a good roast, and we're, it really brightens up our, that first sip of coffee is going to make or break your day. And it's be like, it's going to de-stress you. It's going to be like, now I'm ready. And then knowing that every cup you pour, even when you're drinking the coffee, that you're making a difference because you paid for that coffee, and portions of what you're drinking is going to help somebody, either in the military or first responder field, or somebody. It's going to make a difference in someone's life, which makes that, when you think about that when you have a cup of coffee that's making a difference in someone's life, it's even more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So you have a culmination of all good things wrapped up in one bag of coffee.
Well, and we have a love for making sure that every bean that comes out of our shop is as close to perfect as we can possibly get it. I work a full-time job, and basically every minute that I have off is either spent roasting coffee, whether it's the middle of the night, like right now I just switched back to night shift. So in the evenings on my days off, I'm in the roaster till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning roasting.
Wow.
When I'm on day shift, I spend my days off and they're roasting coffee and doing what I can, and make sure everything that goes out of there is perfect. And just kind of the growth and the excitement that we're seeing through the hard work that we've all put in. This has been quite amazing. I used to get excited when we would sell 2 bags in a week, and now we're roasting entire 70-kilo bags in a day.
Wow.
And they're gone the next day. We pretty much have to roast another one. So
Awesome.
it's pretty exciting.
Well, you got a fan, so drop it like it's Scott. Hello, ONC.
Yeah.
The best coffee ever. He's giving you a fist bump. Love you guys.
Amazing.
So,
Scott's down in Florida. He's down in the Orlando area. That guy does phenomenal work down there, and he's a great guy. And so we appreciate him. Thanks, Scott.
Awesome. Well, we wanted to mention that you guys also have the K cups. So if you have, the Keurig, they got you covered. Like I said, all you got, Scott got 3 bags in today, but all you have to do again is go to OneNationCoffee.com. We've had everything scrolling the whole time. The motto, we've got your 6 a.m. Absolutely love that. We could have a whole show just on your motto.
I love that. That is great. I want that on a freaking t-shirt. I want that to go with.
I'm pretty. I think if you go online and to the website, you would see they have gear too and mugs and all t-shirts and stuff. But so at the end of so Timmerman Fishing says he's part of the 5 pound monthly club that you have. So there we go.
Joey's a good dude. Yeah.
So you got 5 pounders on there.
So we
every when we end the show, we always ask our guests, this is a tough time for the veteran and law enforcement and first responder community. The suicide rate continues to climb, not decline. And in fact, the suicide rate for veterans went back up. The reports came out at the end of last week. Message, whatever you guys want to say, send us off with a message to everybody listening.
So in reference to kind of what you're talking about, I would say this. I back in January, I lost one of my teammates to suicide. Never in a million years saw it coming. And if anybody is out there, and they're listening, they're struggling, please talk to somebody. Please, begging you, please. Like, it's not worth it. You're gonna hurt more people than you're gonna make yourself feel better. So just please talk to somebody and work through it.
Yep, absolutely. It's always tough, especially in military law enforcement. Majority of us are A-type personalities, and we think we can toughen that out. We can go through it, and we're alone or whatever. But the reality is, it's like we all have these struggles and these problems. And as Phil said, it just doesn't affect that person. It affects everyone outside of that. And like, I've lost friends as well to suicide. It's so tragic, so like, that's my message to everyone. Please get help. Please phone a friend or reach out, because it's darkest before the dawn, my friend. And when you get the help, there's so much to live for. So please reach out.
And I would say it's okay to feel a certain way. Just speak up. There's so much support and help and resource out there for you. And all of these groups and people are there to help and support you, to help and pull you out of the thoughts and thinking that you're doing. It's okay to feel that way, but everybody wants to help you get out of that thinking and into a better place.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much for joining us, guys. Like we said in the intro, you guys are on the job, constantly working, constantly doing awesome things with your mission, with coffee and beyond. To keep up the great work. I hope that tons of people flood your website and that you continue to sell out. That's what it's all about, right?
And just real quick, to you guys, we walk the bridge. If you've ever seen hashtag walk the bridge here in Texas, if you guys are over in Texas, on the 22nd of every month, we walk the bridge with veterans and first responders to raise awareness for suicide. We've been doing it for about 3 years now. And we're in the process of building a memorial park, 22-acre memorial park, for those veterans and first responders who have committed suicide. Because the families through Police Week and our veteran families are not taken care of when a loved one takes their own life. So we are building the first in its nation 22-acre park to honor our veterans and our first responders. And we're going to be doing that in September. I would love to invite you guys down and be a part of that ceremony, because you everything we believe in. And I would love for you guys to be a part of that groundbreaking ceremony. And we will stay in contact. And I would love to have One Nation. I would love to have you guys show up and walk the bridge and be part of that whole ceremony with us.
Yeah,
that would be amazing. It would be great.
Yeah,
We'll make that happen. Yeah.
We'll make
Again,
that happen.
yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And John and I will definitely be in touch.
Yes.
yeah.
Thank
All right.
Thank you,
John.
Thank you for having us on.
Right there,
Thank you so much.
and get them roasted. I'm going to be
Yeah.
watering tonight, so
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Get to
Dan, brother.
roast in.
Get the
Thanks,
roasted.
guys.
That's right.
Thanks,
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
man. What wonderful guys.
Woo.
Sam, knocked it out of the park, because what do we love more than coffee? Not much. It starts our day. It's in the middle of our day. It ends our day. And, One Nation, I'm going to have One Nation in my house. I'm telling you, because it is just something that I believe in. And these three guys have such a passion and such a love for what they do, and they're giving back to the community. Man, I have to help them out.
Yeah, that is what it's all about. It's coffee with a huge message behind it and huge support. And I just feel like, they blessed us tonight with telling us where that mission comes from and explaining to everybody the importance of it. And look forward to staying in touch with them. Hey, like Neil and John and Phil, we're talking about the 501c3, the process in that, and where the money goes, because you just don't know. You hope for the best. And John, you and I, we put our papers in. A badge of honor is a domestic corporate nonprofit in the state of Texas. So if you guys want to support another organization that absolutely, get your coffee, let them give your $1, then maybe send $1 our way too.
Yeah.
So,
we give it back 100%.
100% goes into the
100%.
programming. Everything we give out. We got challenge coins coming, but it's all geared towards supporting our first responder community. You can go to abadgeofhonor.com, and there's the donate Mad Radio link at the top. And every penny seriously counts for our programming as it continues to expand. And we do, we do private as well as group workshops, bringing the different agencies together. So if you also, a great way to support the show, if you're watching on Facebook, hey, Facebook family, jump on over to our YouTube page. On YouTube, we are at Mad Radio Texas. That's Mad Radio Texas. Follow us over there. 200 is the magic number where we get to do some cool things. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. Pop on over to our Facebook page. We are at Making a Difference TX. That's Making a Difference TX. And hit like. So you'll get alerted when we go live each week doing Mad Radio. And to all of our first responders, it's just been a tough week. We are with you. We support your families. We are praying for you. When you walk out that door in the morning, we want you to come back at night, or when you walk out at night, we want you to come back. And we want you to know that you have got a huge community out there sending prayers out to the universe, sending hugs out to the universe. You are not alone. And, we just cannot thank you enough for everything that you do here to protect us. And to all of those that serve overseas, we are praying for you, sending out giant worldwide hugs. And things are getting a little messy again over in the Middle East. And let's just hope that it calms down. Start your day out right. Again, OneNationCoffee.com. Lots of really cool coffee over there. Coffee with a cause. John, take us home.
If I can say anything, I want to say May 15th is the actual police Memorial Week, the start of Police Memorial Week, and Memorial Day. These are two very special holidays. They're the two very special days that sometimes we take for granted, and we celebrate and we barbecue and we do everything. But you know what? People lost their lives. This is not a day of celebration. It's a day of honoring those who've served and laid down their lives for others. So let's, as we're barbecuing or as we're with family and friends, let's take a minute and say a prayer to the family lost, to those families that are suffering, and to the men and women who served our country, who serve our cities, states, communities, and towns every single day and protect us. So let's make sure we say a prayer this month for all of them. And that's it, Sam. That's all I had to say.
Absolutely. And if you're in Dallas, come on down to Reverchon Park and spend your Memorial Day weekend with us, with first responders, with veterans, with Gold Star families, and families of the fallen.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Until next week.
Until next week, we love you all. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you soon. Be safe.
Good night.
Good night.